Coming up on Maryland Newsline, I'll take you inside an early voting location.
Coming up on Maryland Newsline, I'll tell you why the FBI is keeping an eye on animal abuse cases.
And I'll show you how one local artist is taking our most common breakfast food and turning it into something special. I'm Gio Insignares, and Maryland Newsline starts now.
Maryland matters. That's what candidates and pundits are saying less than 2 weeks away from the state's primary election. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Munoz, and this is Maryland Newsline.
And I'm Gio Insignares. In the past, Maryland's late primary often just didn't count. But this year's competitive and controversial campaigns have changed that. CNS TV's Peter Eliopoulos is live in Annapolis, where early voting is already underway. Peter?
Thanks, Gio. People have been filing into this early voting location in Annapolis all day. After once being considered an afterthought, Maryland is now at the center of attention.
This year, Maryland is in a position to be a real player in the presidential primary. It's unusual because the primary is so late in cycle.
And the fact that Maryland matters in this race, I think matters to a lot of people. The chance to not just have your voice heard, but to have it heard and then talked about on the national outlets. We're really the center of attention for the country right now.
But this year is different. Maryland has taken steps to make voting easier.
They can go during early voting only and either register to vote and vote at the same time or change their address and vote a regular ballot.
This is the first time Maryland is offering same-day registration. Political scientist Daniel Nataf says the easy access to early voting impacts the major parties differently.
We know that early voting is something Democrats do disproportionately.
It seems like early voting may take the pressure off the lines on April 26th. Here at this Anne Arundel County location, they're averaging around 100 people per hour.
After years of electronic voting, Maryland has moved back to paper ballots.
There was some concern that without having a physical ballot that represents your selections, that it would be a different way to do a recount.
No matter what your method of voting, Maryland residents are being urged to just get out and do it.
As of 6 o'clock this evening, there were 33,000 people across the state that voted early. Live in Annapolis, I'm Peter Eliopoulos, CNS TV. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Peter. With the Fight for 15 movement sweeping the nation, D.C. could be the next place to adopt a $15 minimum wage. The wage increase is already headed for California and New York. Mayor Muriel Bowser says she plans to raise the district's minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2020. Right now, the minimum wage is $10.50 in D.C., and that rises to $11.50 in July. Mayor Bowser proposed legislation is different than the ballot initiative to raise the minimum wage to $15. But both are calling for the same goal.
Maryland employers who have paid workers with disabilities below minimum wage in the past may have to change that. Legislation was recently signed into law by Governor Hogan, and CNS TV's Jesse Karango is live in the newsroom with more. Jesse?
Thanks, Gio. It's a practice that goes back to the 1930s, but in the past couple of weeks, Maryland's legislature has voted to pass new laws tailored for the 21st century.
Debate over the sub-minimum wage for workers with disabilities has been brewing for years. State lawmakers recently gave final approval to the bill, which will phase out the current practice by 2019. Now operations like Opportunity Builders, which provides vocational training and employment help for adults with developmental disabilities, are preparing to make changes.
A lot of people working at OBI.
A lot of them are not capable of completing the rate at the contract at the same rate that typical warehouse workers are.
Opportunity Builders says that after the passage of this new bill, they would have to lay off at least 250 workers and sell this warehouse behind me.
But not everyone feels the same. Acadia Windows and Doors also employs disabled workers, but they say getting rid of the sub-minimum wage was the right thing to do.
Their increased focus has meant less downtime, more productivity, less damaged material, because their head is always in the game.
It's like you can't tell somebody because they're black or because they're Mexican or because they're a female, they can't get paid as everybody, the same as everybody else, and people with a disability should be no exception.
Census Bureau numbers for 2014 show that 145,000 individuals with a disability were employed year-round in Maryland. More than half worked full-time. The median earnings of a worker with a disability at the time was just over $27,000. The median earnings of a worker without a disability during the same period, over $40,000.
In a speech 2 weeks ago, Democratic presidential hopeful Hillary Clinton expressed support towards advocates who supported this bill and called for it to be enacted nationwide. Live in the newsroom, I'm Jessica Rangu, CNS TV. Now, back to you, Jen.
Thanks, Jesse. More than 100 passengers stuck for an hour today on a metro train. The train stopped working 100 feet from the Roslyn Station platform just after 2 p.m. today. All passengers were evacuated. The cause of the breakdown isn't clear yet. Delays on the blue, orange, and silver lines will continue through your evening commute.
The driver charged with the death of Montgomery County Police Officer Noah Liotta will plead guilty. Louis Relusco was drunk, more than 2 times the legal limit, when he struck and killed Officer Liotta while he was on DUI at patrol last December. Relusco could face up to 10 years in prison for vehicular manslaughter. Relusco's plea hearing will be held next month. A law named after Officer Liotta was passed on Monday. Noah's law now requires ignition interlocks for all convicted drunk drivers.
You know what they say, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Nobody is injured after a kitchen fire and evacuation at Plato's Diner in College Park. The Prince George's County Fire Department responded within a few minutes, and police closed down Route 1 in both directions. Plato's suffered major damage despite the fire staying only in the kitchen. Fire officials say it's unclear when the diner will reopen.
When you think of body art, you might think of carnivals, tattoos, or kids' parties. But CNS TV's Ariel Magashi introduces us to an Anne Arundel County artist who uses it to make a difference, one brushstroke at a time.
I never know what the outcome's going to be until the very end.
Crystalline Karasakis is an artist. She paints, she sculpts, and she makes a difference in the lives of others.
My clients are like crystals. They select me.
But some clients face more challenges than others.
Makes you feel good and makes you feel pretty without having to put the different wigs on.
Jerry and Crystalline became acquainted through Wellness House in Annapolis. Jerry found her way to Wellness House after being diagnosed with cancer and developing an autoimmune disease.
After 13 years of just having to wear wigs, it's fun.
Amber Blos crossed paths with Crystalline at a local festival. It happened after Amber had a miscarriage, followed months later by breast cancer.
You can easily roll over in bed and not want to get up. Little things like this, which she was able to give me, were so huge.
Crystalline helped Blos cover up the scars of a difficult time in her life.
She did this amazing turtle painting across my stomach and my C-section scar that just kind of gave me this empowerment to, I guess, to really heal.
Why does Crystalline do what she does?
It's going towards the community. We're filtering it through everyone so we can inspire them and help them through this journey, one person at a time.
As part of the Healing Through Body Art project, Crystalline uses henna, body paint, and plaster to create molds like this one.
Crystalline makes belly molds and paints the stomachs of pregnant women who want a memory of their pregnancy. Women like Jennifer Patrisig, whose doctor told her that her baby girl might not survive her pregnancy.
I just felt that with everything going on with this pregnancy and the uncertainty and the anxiety of the baby's growth and health, that might be a different way to help heal her and make her feel special and make me feel special too.
Heather Silver, who provides counseling for moms and families who've been given a difficult diagnosis, introduced Jen to Healing Through Body Art.
So much energy, bad energy around what's going to happen, what's going to go wrong, all the what ifs, and she's really able to bring them just this light and this great energy and this love and help them be mindful.
Crystalline provides her services for free. She's been self-funding the project since it started. Just recently, she reached out to the community, asking for donations so she can continue providing the services for no cost.
Whatever funding we get is not for Crystallooni's Creative Arts. It's for the Healing Through Body Art project. No matter whether I get the funding or not, I'm going to still continue providing this service.
She says the stories of the people she's helped are all the payment she needs.
One day for his birthday party, I had painted Angry Bird on his face, and he looked in the mirror and he said that he felt handsome.
While she doesn't claim to heal anyone with her art, those who've crossed paths with her say she is making a difference.
The infinite love that comes from her radiates out to everyone that she touches.
In Annapolis, Ariela Magashi, CNS TV.
To learn more about Crystalline and healing through body art, visit her website at www.crystalloonies.com.
There's just a hint of spring that we've all been waiting for. CNS TV's Tyler Boyle has a forecast to make you smile. Tyler?
Thanks, Jen. Spring is really in the air today. Oh man, if you were outside walking around, you may have noticed that it was beautiful, and tonight won't be that bad. We'll drop down to around 39 degrees. It'll be clear and calm, so not too bad. And for the weekend, it might be a good idea to have the sunscreen ready. We're going to be sunny all throughout the weekend. We'll start off Friday, we'll go up to around 63 degrees. We'll drop down to 40 that night. For Saturday, we'll be even warmer. We'll go up to around 66 degrees, and we'll drop down to 43 that night. And on Sunday, we'll go up to around 69, the warmest of them all, and back to 48 later that night. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Tyler. Coming up, did you think the Zika virus was going away? We'll think again. An update from the CDC after the break.
Plus, is animal abuse a problem in your neighborhood? Next, an in-depth report on the FBI is cracking down on crimes against animals.
And we're out. You got plans?
You bet.
$50 million Americans struggle with hunger, but we can do something about it.
Excuse me.
What's going on?
Dinner.
Please join me in helping put food on their tables. Together, we can feed America.
You guys keep going. I'm gonna get the plates.
Plates?
Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Franz!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblams, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you.
Bobby? Susie?
Don't worry, that's just the power of the arts!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit americansforthearts.org.
Welcome back to Maryland Newsline.
We've all seen the stories. Dogs found with their mouths sealed with duct tape, cats set on fire, and other unimaginable horrors.
Now, the FBI is tracking animal cruelty in a whole new way. CNS TV's Aline Abrahamian is live in the newsroom with the story. Aline?
Thanks, guys. Every dog has its day, and although animal advocates are celebrating the fact that the FBI is now counting animal abuse as a felony crime, there's another development in the works. The FBI has its eyes on animal abusers. Earlier this year, the agency officially started to track animal abuse cases because of their link to other crimes, including domestic violence.
They were kind of slow to make this connection.
The ASPCA's Dr. Randy Lockwood says there are hundreds of studies that have been conducted over the past 50 years showing a strong connection between animal cruelty and interpersonal violence. He says the results speak for themselves.
We see that over 70% of women seeking shelter for domestic violence who are pet owners report that their abuser has threatened, injured, or killed an animal.
Interpersonal violence isn't the only crime it's linked to. In December 2014, Baltimore police busted a multi-state dogfighting operation that exposed much more.
There were guns, drugs, a lot of illegal substances found at the house, so we see that it does expand into other areas.
Barks, the Baltimore Animal Rescue and Care Shelter, took in 83 dogs from that dogfighting ring. Barks takes in about 11,000 dogs and cats a year, plus 1,000 wildlife animals. That's about 30 animals a day. Shelter vet Dr. Sherry Seibel has seen it all.
A lot of times we see bite wounds,
from dog fighting, broken bones, either from abuse or being hit by a car. So, you know, you end up having to amputate legs or tails, rubber bands around ears and legs and tails. For whatever reason, there was quite a few cases where cats and dogs were being burned alive by kids.
Lockwood says cruelty to animals is considered one of the potential indicators of conduct disorder in children.
Animal cruelty is about power and control, and if a child feels totally lacking in power, lacking in control, which often they are, but often their feeling of powerlessness is coming from their own victimization, and they might act out against animals to try to gain a sense of power.
Lisa Marabido of Bark says she's seen animals abused by children as young as 5.
They do what they see, and if they don't have anyone telling them that that's not right and that's really all that they see going on in their community or that they hear about, they're not going to know any different.
Advocates agree that educational programs for children and the FBI's involvement can help reduce the number of abuse cases. Only 30% of the country is covered within the database. Maryland is not one of them. But there's a push by the FBI to get full participation by 2021.
Prosecutors are taking on more cases, police are investigating more cases, but whether or not the absolute number of crimes is on the rise, we really won't know, and this might be an important first step in getting that answer.
To report a case of animal cruelty, the Maryland SPCA urges you to call 911 or animal control at 311. Live in the newsroom, I'm Aline Abrahamian. Back to you, Gio.
Thanks, Aline. The CDC confirmation on Zika causing birth defects comes with new recommendations from the University of Maryland. UMD entomologist Mike Raup says repellent-infused clothing can help keep the disease-bearing mosquitoes away. The repellent in the clothes can last anywhere from 20 to 70 washes. Raup also recommends using other repellents in addition to the clothes. 40 states, including Maryland, have been affected by the virus.
A Glen Burnie student has turned an essay assignment into a call to get rid of African Americans. North County High School Principal Julie Kerr sent the outraged school community a letter saying the essay was ill-advised and insensitive. The school system says it hasn't decided how to discipline the student yet. The essay has been posted and shared on social media.
And from one form of expression to another, I found an artist who takes one of our most common breakfast food, eggs, and scrambles them into something special.
For Wendy Ng, she just had to do it herself.
Every single one, I would say, I can do better than that. And I haven't stopped yet.
Leaving her mark on a different type of artistic canvas.
And I think of it as a dance between me and the egg. The egg has some say to what it would look like. The way it takes the dye, the way it bends the design.
Each egg takes more than 10 hours to fully design, with the process ranging from inspiration to sketches to coloring and enjoying the long process.
Another thing to note when decorating eggs are the characteristics of each egg. Colors like white, blue, brown all make the designs pop in different ways, with some colors shining brighter than others.
Is it making sense?
Ng's artistic expression is more than just for profit. It's about pushing the limits of what more she can do. She says art has always been a part of her life. And while it took a back seat for some years while she was teaching, it's made a welcome return.
It makes me happy and relaxed, and it does erase a lot of stress. I get that high, that flow, that mindset of stress-free runner's high. Make a lot of difference. And I'm lucky to be able to do that.
A trip that's come full circle and left a lasting impression.
Ng uses a variety of eggs: chicken, quail, duck, even turkey, and she hopes to spend more time working on her artistic goals throughout the summer.
Coming up on Maryland Newsline, they're calling it Mamba Day. We'll hear why next.
And the Golden State Warriors are truly golden. We'll show you why. Stay with us.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments Only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
So good to see you guys.
So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place. Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Was it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to Maryland Newsline. We've got some record breakers in sports tonight.
CNS TV's Josh Rogers has the latest. Josh?
That's right, guys, and well, where to start? How about with Mamba Day? Kobe Bryant's 20-year career came to a close last night at the Staples Center against the Utah Jazz. Before the game, Kobe giving the Lakers faithful one last farewell, but no one anticipated what would happen next. There he is, Kobe, greeting the crowd one last time and picked this one up midway through the first. Elevates for the swat, and oh, he can get out in transition too. Look at him go. Feeling 20 again, goes to his left, floats on the baseline, hits a tough jumper. Pick this one up again in the third quarter now. Kobe going right, and vintage Kobe here coming back to his left. Another tough jumper in the lane. That one rattles home. Lakers still down big though, but don't worry. Kobe coming down in transition, picks up the 3 ball and nails it. Lakers down 9.5 to go, and the comeback is on, and the man who spent 20 years in his whole career in LA hits a mid-range jumper. Lakers up 1, 30 seconds to go. They hold on for the 101-96 win. Kobe finishes with 60, the 5th highest scoring total of his career on the last night of his career. And take a look at this. Kobe on his left there, on your left there, in his rookie year, and headshot from his current year on the right. Only a little bit more hair. That's about the only difference, right? It was an emotional farewell for the all-time great, and we will all miss the Mamba. And while Kobe had his fairy tale ending, the Golden State Warriors were making their own history, taking on the Memphis Grizzlies with a chance to get their 73rd win and break the 95-96 Chicago Bulls single-season wins record. Steph Curry coming around the screen, hitting a 3. Yeah, we're used to seeing that. Warriors up big early, and this one was out of hand early. Going to the cup, getting the 2. Look at this finger roll again. Closes his eyes when the contact comes. Doesn't matter. Goes in the cup. Warriors win 125-104. They break the NBA wins record for a single season. And from the cream of the NBA crop to the worst the MLB has to offer. The Washington Nationals taking on the winless Atlanta Braves, led by 7 scoreless from Tanner Roark on the mound. And here's a homer that barely gets over the wall. And then you'll see another one coming up here from Jason Worth. This one not so much in doubt. Left center field. Nats win 3-1. Washington's Major League Baseball team drops Atlanta to a woeful 0-8, and they improved to 6-1 on the season. And from the Beltway to Boston, the Orioles visited Fenway last night, trying to keep their perfect start intact. Crush Davis 2-run bomb had the O's feeling good. Opposite field over the Green Monster. That's the top half of the third, but bottom half of the third, Xander Bogaerts doubled down the line, and that tied the game at 2. Red Sox would not look back after that one. 4-2, they beat the Orioles, handing Baltimore its first loss of the season. And now, time for the best and last version of your 3 quickies this spring. Number 3, Warriors head coach Steve Kerr, member of the 95-96 Bulls, broke his own record last night with the Warriors' 73rd win. How's that for irony? Kerr said he was shocked and never thought the record could be broken. Number 2, 4 years ago, the Rams traded away the 2nd overall pick in 2012 in the 2012 NFL Draft to the Redskins. Today, a little role reversal as the now Los Angeles Rams gave up a total of 6 draft picks to acquire the first pick in this year's draft from the Tennessee Titans. And number 1, it's been on everyone's mind since last night. What's more historically significant, Kobe's 60-point performance in his final game or the Warriors' record-breaking win? Well, I've got only one word for you, and that is Kobe. Back to you on the desk. I fell short. Kobe didn't last night.
Thanks, Josh. I want to say you got nothing but net on that one. It's pretty bad. Coming up on our final check-in with Bebe, we've got the live update on our favorite furry friend when we come back.
Plus, you get invited to the White House if you win the NCAA tournament. What else gets you into the president's house? Find out next.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today, I'm just an aluminum can, but one day, I could be a stadium.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Kids don't always want to make models of the solar system or tell you about the water cycle, but one Prince George's County teacher is putting the fun in science. CNS TV's Misha Green has her story.
Spring has sprung, and the kids at Bladensburg Elementary have one person to thank for that.
Mother Nature.
Teacher Nia Kondo is also known as Mother Nature.
She changes with the seasons, you know. In the spring, she has her green with her flowers.
And?
She loves attention, and she loves for you to take care of her and give her lots of love.
Kondo started Mother Nature after creating a garden in the courtyard of the school to get students involved.
I really believe it's time for children to be educated on the importance of taking care of the earth.
Nia Kondo has been planting her whole life and teaching for 30 years. The character of Mother Nature was created to get students more interested in science and in the environment.
I want to start planting so you can have your own garden. I already had some plants, but today I'm gonna grow more.
The children get a big kick of Mother Nature coming around, and so that's been just such a wonderful and fun, addition to our program.
We love Mother Nature! In Bladensburg, Misha Green, CNS TV.
I'll give y'all extra recess for loving Mother Nature, but we have to go do our work now.
Imagine showing off your innovations to one of the most important leaders in the world. Another group of Maryland students did just that at this year's White House Science Fair. I was there at the White House as they proudly presented their work to the President of the United States.
Oh, 4 of them. This one doesn't fit, but it's still cool.
Unlike most 9-year-old kids, Jacob Leggett of Baltimore makes his own toys. He created his favorite on a 3D printer.
My 3D printed question cup.
Jacob became hooked to 3D printing the first time out. He even wrote letters asking printer companies to allow him to be a test kit for their products. It worked.
Today, Jacob is churning out toys and games for himself and his little sister, and he dreams one day of making artificial organs for people.
Over 100 students from 30 different states came to the White House to display their projects like 3D printing and solar cars.
What they all share is this love of science and love of technology and a belief that our youngest innovators can change the world.
Also taking part in the science fair, this group of girls from Harford and Cecil County Boys and Girls Club. They designed, built, and raced a solar-powered vehicle.
Basically, we built a solar-powered car to compete against others.
They've won both state and national competitions, proving anything is possible.
Boys, they just try to put you down. They say that you're girls. It doesn't make a difference.
It's the mission of the White House to build connections and create opportunities for young female scientists.
We're not going to succeed if we got half the team on the bench, especially when it's the smarter half of the team.
And, said the president, the students were evidence that it's never too early in life to make a difference. The president has sponsored the science fair for the past 6 years. We were going to show you some panda, Bebe, but he's having a little panda timeout, so...
So we're going to take this time. We're going to wish him an early birthday because it is our last show. So happy birthday, Bebe, and we'll see you in the fall.
We will. That's Maryland Newsline for tonight. You can find out more about our stories presented here by going onto our website, cnsmaryland.org. I'm Jennifer Munoz. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Gio Insignares. Don't forget to check out our CNS Facebook page and YouTube as well. You can find us at Maryland Capital News Service. Our semester is wrapping up tonight, but you can catch the best of Maryland Newsline and Maryland Newsline on the sidelines right here. Have a great one.